Welcome back, YouTubers. Sorry it's been so long since our last update, but just had a lot of stuff going on. But I wanted to give you guys an update about what's been going on with the tank, what changes have been made since the last time you guys saw the tank, and where the equipment's lying on, and where we're at now from here. This will also serve as the final review for all the Chinese products that we started with. That's going to be the 165 watt Chinese LEDs, the Jebao/Jcod RW pumps, the 4s, 8s, and 15s, as well as the D700 skimmer, which is also through Jebao and a coral box, and the DC12000 return pump. So let's get started on the equipment here. This is the tank. We're still running the 165 watt LED black boxes, as you can see there. They're running for 3 years strong now, so they're doing really well. You see the color spectrum there. No problems with them, no burnouts, nothing like that. They give more than enough light, and as you can see, you get great color in your corals. Don't have to worry about that, and great growth, as you can see by basically everything in the tank that's really grown out. Let's move down toward the bottom. Let's brighten this up for you guys. Alright, to start off, there's your coral box D700 skimmer. Again, 3 years, running great, running strong. You can see how black that skimmate is. Gets everything we want out of it. In that same chamber, you also see that BRS Deluxe Reactor, where I run the 0.8 ROX carbon. In that chamber, I also have and you can't really see it, but I have a RW8 in that chamber, which keeps that water flow moving, and keeps that chamber nice and clean. The next chamber is our refugium, and in the refugium you see all that chaeto growing in there. I also have my probes for the apex in there, and an RW4 to keep water movement in that chamber, and again, nothing settling. It's just fed by another just slim Chinese LED style light. In the final chamber is the return. That's where you'll find the Ecotech Vectra L1 return. This is where the DC12000 used to be, and we'll talk about why those changes were made here in a little while. Into that same chamber, I also have, you can see it right there, an RW8 to keep water flow inside that chamber, again keeping it nice and clean. Now, the return is set not that fast, so the water flow through the sump is actually slow, but the pumps put good flow in each chamber, which allows them to stay clean without a lot of buildup, which helps. Into that same chamber, I also have feeding our calcium reactor, which you see there. That is fed by the tank in the back of CO2, which is controlled by the carbondoser.com electronic CO2 regulators. You can see there. I also have a BRS jumbo reactor, which runs our GFO. You see there the distilled white vinegar 5%, which is fed by the doser. That is our carbon dosing. And the bucket that it's sitting on is for our auto top off, which is a JBJ auto top off. That has not changed. So that is it as far as our equipment. The only thing is we run everything off an Apex Aqua controller, and here is my board where I have all the Apex controller stuff hooked up. As far as inside the tank, we have an MP40 on this side, and we have an MP40 on the other side of the tank. Sorry, it's washed out a little bit. So an MP40 on the other side of the tank, and we also have two RW15s on the rear wall. That's a little different than we started, where we had two RW15s and four RW8s in the tank. And again, we'll get into that here as far as why those changes were made. Now, those changes were basically because I was able to get a fantastic deal on these MP40s for the pumps and on the Vectra L1 as a return. That's really the only reason why I made the changes. Because I didn't need the flow of the RW8s once I got the MP40s and the 15s, that's why I was able to utilize those RW8s and 4 in the sump area to create flow in those chambers. So I have plenty of flow going across with the MP40s, and I got plenty of flow coming from the back wall with those RW15s. Now, as far as why I changed the return, again, that was just because I got a great deal for review with the Vectra L1, and I've been running that for, I guess, a year and a half or two now, and that's been running strong too. So the changes I made were basically, one, my initial point for starting off the tank with all the Chinese stuff was to prove that it could be done. So after a year, about a little over a year of running everything on the Chinese equipment, I basically proved, hey, the tank is running strong. Is done fantastic. It can be done running just Chinese equipment. So once I've proven that point, you know, that allowed me to kind of take advantage of some of the deals that I had been offered to get some of this equipment, and that's when I started changing out some of the gear to the Ecotech stuff and whatnot. Now, as far as the lighting, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion. It's good to go. For $100, you get one of these fixtures. Not necessarily the most controllable, but man, you control the channels of the colors versus the blues, and they give you great color inside the tank, which you can control and set to your own spectrum. It grows coral. I mean, look how big everything is inside the tank. The colors, you know, they're fantastic of the coral, so there's no complaints there. I mean, if you see that, so they're good to go. You can't beat it. $100 for each fixture, and you get great longevity. I've had them for 3 years. You get great color, great use. They're great. So I'm gonna give it a big thumbs up on those 165 watt dimmable Chinese LEDs. There's 1.5 million brands out there that make them now. They run from about $100 to $120. That's about what you should be paying, and they're good to go. The next thing, the RW pumps. Again, I've been running these for, I guess, 3 years now. I've only had one pump go out on me in those 3 years. It was a $60 replacement, so it's not like where you have with the, you know, the Ecotechs where you're $300, $400, $500 in to the pump. These are, you know, $50, $60 replacements on Amazon, and you get them in 2 days and you're back in business. So again, in three plus years, one pump out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that I've had, one pump, I'd say that's pretty good ratio. So I'm good. You know, I'm gonna give it a big thumbs up. They work. They're really strong. They give you great flow, and they're easily replaced. The DZ12000 return. Again, the only reason I changed it is because I got a fantastic deal for review on the Vectra L1. So I'm going to give that a big thumbs up as well. It ran really strong the entire time. As long as I would clean them about every 6 months to every 10 months maybe, where I would pull it out, give it a good 20-minute cleaning, put it back, and it run just as strong. It's a DC powered pump, so it's really easily controllable, and I have the controllers for them for the Apex. So I run even my Jebaos are connected to my Apex and controlled. So they're just work really great all around, guys. So I'm gonna give them all 3 thumbs up: the return, the wave makers, and the Chinese LED lights. So hope that update answers a lot of your questions of where I've been, what's progressed with the tank system. I don't know if the Keelys was in there the last time you guys saw the tank, so I'll give him a little bit of a spotlight so you guys can see him. We've had him for months and months and months now. He's done really great. He went through about 2-month quarantine. But other than that, guys, everything's about the same. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. And as always, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks again, guys.